Good evening. If, like me, you were watching the debate this evening on TalkTV between Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak, which was halted after 30 minutes because of what they're calling a medical incident, apparently the wonderful Kate McCann, the moderator, fainted, and it looked and sounded as if she brought down the podium and microphone and other equipment with her in a large crash, which had Liz Truss gasping and mouthing, "Oh my God." It was really a terrible, terrible thing to happen. They say that Kate is okay, that she's fine, and I imagine throughout the evening we'll be hearing more. But it was really a dreadful thing to happen. I was again this evening not impressed with the proceedings of the candidates, and for just a moment there, it seemed like a bit of an omen. Forgive me, this is what things will be like in the future. I'm sorry, but I was very disappointed. I think that, pardon me, I think that Talk TV, with its generally unique approach, did a much better job of presenting this debate than the previous debates we've seen. I think that Kate was doing extremely well. I also thought to myself that I can understand why Ms. Truss and Mr. Sunak called off the debate before last night's debate when it was the three of them with Penny Mordaunt. I imagine they didn't want her to have any chance of showing them up, but now that she's gone, they felt they could confront each other. And I found that a bit disturbing, if indeed that is correct. The introductions that they both gave, to me, were full of generalizations and platitude, and words like truth, beauty, and justice ran through my mind. I mean, they didn't really say much of anything. And I'm going to keep this short as I did last night, because there are obviously billions of words are being written and spoken on this at the moment. But the main thing for me was that on three issues which haven't come up in previous debates, these were real issues from real people. Talk TV did a great job of, rather than a massive studio audience of conservatives, having a small number of people from all different outlooks and persuasions. And they came up with, three of them, some really salient questions. One was a gentleman who unfortunately has cancer and didn't receive the help or any help that he needed from the NHS. They were just too overburdened. The second was a woman who has decided that perhaps she should convert her family to vegetarianism because she can't afford the meat that she used to buy for them every day. And the third was somebody who, a gentleman who asked about his winter fuel bill. I don't feel that either candidate answered any of those questions with any specificity at all. Liz Truss did very well, I thought, on answering questions about how she would change the NHS, but that is as far as it went. Once again, Rishi Sunak kept talking about our children and grandchildren, and that we must pay back the debts from COVID as quickly as possible and not burden them. Is he pitching for the youth vote or what? I find this incredible. And there was particularly a caller on an earlier Talk TV program with Dr. David Bull, who asked a simple question, which is, why is this not like a war? And pointed out that World War II is still being repaid. The war debt that we have from World War II was not repaid until something like 2006. So what is Mr. Sunak's compulsion to break the bank for so many of us in order to pay back that debt? I don't really get it. I mean, that's pretty much it. It was more of the same thing, and I have to say I'm starting to agree with Andrew Neil, who will be interviewing them next, I believe, who said this whole thing is a fiasco. That having 160,000 people, that's only 60,000 more than the SNP, decide the next prime minister is too small a sample. He says at least it should be all of the MPs in Parliament. not just this tiny little group of Conservative Party members. Also, the number of people who have now signed the petition to add Boris as the third candidate and bring him back, rescind his resignation, refuse to accept his resignation, has risen to something like 25,000 people on change.org. And they have been to the High Court, and a decision is expected in a couple of days, and he may very well be forced back onto the campaign, and then we'll be seeing different sort of debates. Whatever your opinion of him, this is the worst thing in the world or this is the best thing in the world, I think we're in a situation now that is just unsustainable. I don't think either of these people are giving us the answers we need about what they will do as prime minister. I think all the commentators seem to be saying that Liz Truss is the favorite at the moment. And yes, I mean, I could happily live with her as a prime minister, but I don't think, I don't think she's ready. That's just my personal view. Perhaps in action, she'll be far more effective than in these debates, which must be quite a strain. But I leave that with you, and thank you and good night. And we just hope that Kate McCann is in very good shape and just had a momentary lapse. Thank you.